The regular player goes through several stages. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the 10 stages of every TF2 player. So if you do play TF2, comment below which stage you've fit into. And remember, there's no shame in being in any of these stages. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to get alerted for my other content. The stages listed throughout this video are completely objective, and not all players have the same in-game experiences. This video was created for entertainment purposes only. Come on guys, we all started off here, be honest. The noob is the first stage of TF2 players, where we just have no idea of what's going on. This person likely found the game from watching the Meet the Class videos or was recommended it by a friend. This stage is usually a make or break for most players, and decides whether they'll keep playing or whether they'll stop playing. This player isn't exactly useful to have on your team, as they pick their classes based on looks and not based on how effective they are. But you know, we kind of gotta cut them some slack and show them the ropes of Team Fortress 2. So you aren't a complete noob anymore, and you understand the basic gameplay mechanics, but you still struggle to get more than one kill per life, before inevitably dying. This is that stage between really bad at TF2 and just bad at TF2. Many people just stay in that stage forever. They don't move, they don't practice, they never get out of it, so this is the stage of many TF2 players. But for the people who do push through it, and for the people who like to learn, they move on to the next stage. This is the stage where they discover the vast and wonderful world of TF2 YouTube. They go on a frenzy of watching videos and finding their favorite content creators. They visit classic Team Fortress 2 videos, and they find out about interesting TF2 concepts, such as trading, and learning in-game mechanics such as rocket jumping, reflecting projectiles as pyro, and subclasses like the Demo Knight. This stage is an incredible learning stage for the player. They find ways to play the game, they find how to play the game, and overall, this is probably the biggest learning stage in their entire TF2 career. This is that stage which defines who their favorite content creators will be, and defines what communities they'll become a part of, such as TF2's fastest growing Discord community, TF2 Chill Zone, which the female scout actually wanted to talk to you guys about, so I'll let her talk for a second.
TF2 Chill Zone, the most active TF2 Discord community with over 8,000 members. The invite link is in the description.
So they aren't completely bad at the game anymore, and they spent the last stage binge watching TF2 YouTube videos and finding out how to improve themselves. So they have a furthered understanding of the game and its mechanics, and they start discovering which class they'd like to main, and will most likely choose one of the 4 S's, the Scout, Soldier, Sniper, or Spy. But some of the more outlandish people choose classes like Engineer, Medic, Heavy, or Pyro. This player will be able to help you out in the team in some situations, but they still haven't touched their skill potentials yet. But these players continue to grind out on casual until they reach the... They did it. They are now a good player. After many hours of playing and grinding out in Team Fortress 2, they can officially say they are good at the game. Well, they're definitely not professional at the game, and they have their moments where they get rolled in games and just lie at the bottom of the scoreboard, but overall, they're good players, and they have an overall general understanding of the game's mechanics and how the game works. You'll see these players on maps such as Upward and Viaduct, and they're usually sitting around the middle to high areas on the scoreboard. They're usually great to have in your team and will definitely help you take the win. This is the stage that most TF2 players go through when they realize that TF2 has 160 different weapons to try. At this stage, the player goes through all the classes trying out as many weapons as possible. Some weapons they love, and some other weapons they absolutely hate. While these players aren't as useful as they were in the last stage, this stage is also a good learning stage and teaches them about which weapons work and which weapons just don't work. But some of these players take another route, a route which contains food and big fluffy boxing gloves. This route being the... This is a stage that you never expected. This is a stage where the player looks at the funny side of TF2 and becomes a full pacifist. Usually playing heavy, sporting the sandwich with the holiday punch, you'll be sure to find them on 2 Fort and Hightower. These people are pretty damn funny, and are great people overall, but do not poke the bear. Damaging them or even threatening them can result in an instant painful death. Armed and dangerous. So at this stage, they got sick of being friendly, and they are done having to deal with toxic TF2 players who constantly kill them while they are being friendly. So they decide to release the beast. This stage of the player is armed and dangerous, and will be roaming around casual at the top of the scoreboard. This player is definitely a player you should be fearing. These players usually stick to 1 or 2 classes, and have a couple of weapons which they are just extremely well trained on. They're not afraid to play against the meta and do a great job while doing so. Personally, this is the stage I see myself in for most classes. This is a stage where the player becomes so good at Team Fortress 2 that they are considered professional. These guys may look and sound like normal players, but in reality, they are gods at TF2. And they have probably sunk thousands of hours into the game, and are a part of a team where they practice several times a week in competitive environments. These players are some of the scariest players to come across, as they are relentless and will kill you before you have a chance to react. This is the peak of most TF2 players, and this is one of the absolute final stages you can reach in the game, before the inevitable final stage. This is the final stage for the average TF2 player, and for a good reason. This is the unfortunate stage which hundreds of thousands of players have reached, and the stage that many people are still stuck in. This is the stage where they've played so much Team Fortress 2 that they feel burnt out. They don't feel like there's anything new to experience in the game, and they are under the impression that they have reached their limit, and the game is simply no longer fun. Unfortunately, this is a stage we see far too often. This is